first we thought, okay, maybe she's out of friends, and so that first night you're calling all these friends of hers. But then by the next day, you have that dreaded fear that, you know, something bad might have happened. And that's when you just, you know, start to get frantic trying to figure out what to do. There's no one there to help you, really. You're on your own, and I felt at times it was just my husband and I were completely alone.
Mostly the parents are in a panic stage, and they're waiting for something to happen. So now the family is at a standstill. They have to go find their child on their own.
You just try to, in your head, figure out, you know, what can I do here?
Okay, every year in America, hundreds and thousands of children go missing. But now something pretty incredible is happening with a group called Saved in America. We've introduced you before. This is a group of sort of retired military ops and/or law enforcement stepping up to go find and rescue our missing kids. And they have a big event and fundraiser in just a few days, and we're seeing if perhaps you can support them as well. And we're here with Joseph Travers, who is the founder. Glad to see you again.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
I was impressed because the website says 102 children saved since you started in 2014. And that's up about 30 since we first met you in May. But you say it's increased even before you could update the website. It's now
133.
133 children saved. And each one with an incredible story.
Correct.
How did this all get started?
Well, back in 2009, which is really incredible for the event November 1st at the Cuvier Club in La Jolla. That's our second annual. But in 2009, I read an article about a young girl named Brittany Drexel. And Brittany went missing from upstate New York and ended up down in a resort in South Carolina for spring break, which of course mother told her not to go. And somehow a gang member pimp lured her out of the hotel, and she was never seen again. And I looked at this case in 2009 and I thought—
Because you have a background in law enforcement. What'd you do?
Absolutely. I worked narcotics and gangs, and I knew back in the 90s, the gangs, organized crime took over narcotics trafficking. And right at that moment, that time, in 2004, 5, 6, they started to take over child sex trafficking. And I thought to myself, I hope that's not what happened. Then about a month later, I read another article in 2009 about Navy SEALs going overseas rescuing children, and I thought to myself, we need to do this here. So I reached out to a Navy SEAL named Jeff Bramstead, who was involved with the overseas guys going over and rescuing kids. And I decided, you know, we need to do this here, and he agreed. We brought in an attorney, Alexander Phillips, and we formed Saved in America.
This is so amazing. And the thing that's neat about this is you had this inclination toward helping in 2009, but you took a few years to get all your ducks in a row, get people licensed, find the right people who had a heart, because it's not paid, it's free for the families.
Correct. It took us about 4 years to really organize it, to say, now how can we do this, right, effectively? And we follow with our 3 pillars. And we have 3 pillars. Number 1, never charge the parent. Number 2, never take any money, always use volunteers. And number 3, get everyone involved who are former Navy SEALs or retired police detectives, and have them become licensed private investigators and fully insured. And we had to look at all the legal aspects, how we work with law enforcement, how we don't get in their way if they have a task force working on something.
All these jurisdictions
Correct.
And toes not to step on.
Exactly, deconflictions and from everything. We thought, okay, we'll get ready. And in 2014, December, we were ready. We did our first operation and recovered our first child.
It's so cool. And I know there's only so much you can say about your op, but can you tell me a little bit how it works? Because, you know, I don't know how many parents today, this week, this month, I'm not quite sure what the numbers are per day, but somewhere, somehow it happens where your child, you can't find your child. You're not sure where they went. Are they missing? Are they at a friend's? Did they run away for a day? Are they mad? The things that go through your head, you're not even sure what's happening at first, let alone who to contact.
That's absolutely true. I'll give you the steps through a case we just recently did about 5 or 6 months ago. A 14-year-old girl is home in Sparks, Nevada. Mother comes in to take her to school like she always does. Windows open, child's gone. calls the police, the local police show up, take a police report. The first thing they ask her, well, why would your child run away? What's going on? And she said, well, I don't know, which she really didn't, because the answer was in her social networking that the parents don't know about. And what happened is she was enticed from we found out later, a 28-year-old gang member enticed her outside, and that's who she left with. He took her down to Baja California. So what we did is we used social networking investigation, tracked down where in fact she was. Then we did some intelligence gathering undercover using the guise of being taxi cab drivers. We have 2 of our guys are former intelligence officers with San Diego PD who do all our contacts in Mexico with the federales and local police there. So we actually got eyes on her, got eyes on him, got the federal police involved. They arrested him, and we got her back home.
Now, I know every case is probably different, but that particular girl, was she ready to come home? Did she get in deeper than she meant to, or what was her situation?
On this case, that's one of the few that she knew she was in way too deep. Once he got her over the border, and she thought to herself, what did I get myself into? And there was no place for her to go.
Because that's what they do, they entice. Now, and this is big business, and I think you talk about, what do you talk about, a triangle or a 3-pronged structure where they do, the gangs do the drugs, and now the big business of human trafficking. And they're very good at it. It's a lot of money, and they're not going to stop.
Correct. And what it's an evil triad of street gangs, prison gangs, and cartels. And when you look at how it works and the numbers, of course, San Diego County is the 2nd largest corridor in the country. The first is Texas on the border, and the third is Florida on the border. So you look at this connect, it's all on the border. So you say, why is it that most child sex trafficking is on the border? Because that's the same organized routes that the same people do the drugs.
They have it all cut out already.
They traffic the children, correct.
Their comfort zones.
Yes, and their organization is there.
Just so much to think about. And you know, people probably think, well, that's so far away from me. Maybe I'm in middle America, but these people are reaching out everywhere across the country.
Of the cases that we have, 50% of the 133 children we've assisted, San Diego County. Originating San Diego County. Yeah, so some of the cases involve children. We recovered a young girl from Del Mar, California, and that one took 3 months. We went across the country and recovered her in Jacksonville, Florida.
These online predators are reaching out, though, everywhere, at high schools everywhere. I'm told that every high school in America has been targeted by these people trying to lure the kids. So it's not just you go to a street corner and grab the newspaper kid up and that kid goes missing, never seen again. This is done, it's way nefarious, and it's got all this little intelligence with it. When you reach in and the person wants to leave and go with you at first.
Yeah, what happens is, and there was a study done in San Diego County, every public middle school and high school has a recruiter for the gangs in that school. And they recruit the young girls who might be going through something at the time. Maybe there's a divorce, a death in the family, maybe they're upset, they had a boyfriend that they broke up with, etc. And then these recruiters approach them and they coerce them, mentally coerce them.
And they know their targets. Hold that thought. We're back with Joseph Travers, Saved in America, after this.